Hello, how are you doing? Today I'm going to be talking about three clips from the book Teach Like a Champion. And right now I'm going to start with the introduction. The purpose of this video presentation is to show what I have learned from the clips from the book Teach Like a Champion, as well as how the information from the clips impacted me and what I would take away from the information. What are your key learnings for the clip? The key learnings for the clip are how quickly Megan Ruler was able to scan each student's answer because of its placement on the worksheet. She, she was able to go down each aisle and observe students' responses without breaking stride for the most part. She knew what to look for, where to look for it, and because of that, she was able to provide the correct answers. Another key learning from the clip is how Megan Ruler noticed trending answers amongst the students. Due to the way the format was standardized, she was able to notice all the students' answers quickly and point them in the right direction within the allotted time she gave them. How does information impact your thinking? This information impacted my thinking by forcing me to expand my thinking. The standardized format tool makes you process information at a quicker rate, but due to its organized nature, it makes it easier for you and it makes the observation more efficient. What information will you take with you and implement as a teacher? Why? This particular lesson has provided me with excellent information that I will use as a teacher. One tactic that I like is the parallel process tactic. Parallel process is checking for understanding why students are working. I guarantee I will use to standardize the format tool because of how powerful and easy to use it is. This tool allows the teacher to quickly assess and spot students' answers as well as their level of understanding. A tool such as this one must be used regularly in the teaching and learning process. My personal and professional reflection based on clip 2 is on a personal level, I like the information that I learned in this lesson. I enjoyed how simple and straightforward it is. On a professional level, this tool is a game changer because of what it allows you to do. It makes the teaching and learning process that much easier. Affirmative checking clip 6. What are your key learnings for the clip? The key learnings from the clip are as follows. The speed of the checkpoints and the gauging of mastery. The speed of the checkpoint shows you how fluent the process should be. Students should not be lagging around, wasting time. Also, a key aspect of the clip was that the students had to master one step before they're allowed to move on to the next step. This forces the students to realize that the speed in which you answer a question isn't the most important. Affirmative checking. Clip 6. How does this information impact your thinking? This information impacted my thinking by showing me a different way to make sure students know the lesson I'm teaching them. This tool allows the teachers to make sure students know the necessary information before they are allowed to go on to the next. Students must get confirmation that their work is correct, productive, or sufficiently rigorous before moving on to the next step. Affirmative checking clip 6. What information will you take with you and implement as a teacher? Why? The information I would take with me and use as a teacher is how affirmative checking enables students to be constantly aware of how they are doing. Another takeaway from this lesson is how affirmative checking enables me, the teacher, to be able to constantly be aware of how my students are doing. All this information is important because it benefits teachers and students. Teachers have yet another tool that would allow them to do their jobs better, and students will have another aid that will help them learn better in the classroom. Clip 6, personal and professional reflection. On a personal level, affirmative checking is a great tool because the teacher must confirm the student's work. On a professional level, I like this tool because it shows students that mastery is the only option. Also, I like how this tool allows for assessment, which makes it better for students and teachers. No opt-out clip 9. What are your key learnings for the clip? The key learnings for clip 3 are persistence and calmness. Persistence and calmness are the key learnings because the teacher, David, refused to allow the student to not try and answer the question. He provided context for the student, called on the classmate to provide a cue, returned to the original student, prompted the class to answer, and returned to the student once again to define immigrants. Throughout this entire process, David remained calm and exuded emotional constancy. By doing this, he kept the situation lighthearted, relaxed, and non-confrontational. No opt-out, clip 9. How did this information impact your thinking? This information impacted my thinking by showing me how to remain steadfast in the hopes of a student trying to answer the question. This information showed me how to go a different way of getting students to at least try and answer the question. Overall, this information impacted my thinking in a positive way, and it taught me about emotional constancy. No opt-out, clip 9. What information will you take with you and implement as a teacher? Why? The takeaway for me is how to reinforce a culture of accountability. I will implement this as a teacher because students must be taught to hold themselves accountable for their learning and overall education. Students must know that they have to at least try in the classroom because it will only benefit them in the end. I will also implement how the no opt-out empowers me to help all students take the first step towards success. Confidence is one of the main things students struggle with, and I think no opt-out can give students the success they seek in an academic environment. Personal and professional reflection. Personally, I love the spirit of the no opt-out tool. I like how it instills optimism in the students and in the teacher as well. The tool in and of itself would not allow any student to give up. On a professional level, I liked learning about emotional constancy. Emotional constancy helps diffuse potentially tense situations, and it keeps the teaching and learning process flowing. This is the end of my presentation. Here's my reference, and thank you for your time.